Hello everybody, Dan Waters from Enstarla here. Thank you for joining us once again. We are doing a walkthrough here of Robotic Process Automation Use Case 5, ID Importer. For many, this is what Robotic Process Automation is all about. Now, for those that weren't aware, one of the key attributes of Robotic Process Automation is the use of something called OCR, or Optical Character Recognition. This technology allows you to take an image and be able to essentially, or not just an image file, but other file types, and be able to essentially extract the digital information from that file. So for example, you have a license, you had a date of birth within that license, and this license happens to be a photo. We're able to take that photo and lift that digital data off of that file and do something with it. So very, very powerful. Now, what we're doing today is actually focusing a little bit on licenses. And before I show you some of the files that we've got ready for us to run this robot against, why don't we just jump into our famous one slider. So overview, ID importer, key benefits, time saved through automating manual data entry. Standardization allows enforceable and quantifiable compliance. It's a very important point. Data quality enhanced, of course. Design notes, uses optical character recognition technology, does an impressive job of handling variable contrast and image defects obstacles. Now just think about that for a sec. You've probably used something before, taking a photo of your bank card for Uber, or using some kind of technology to upload an image of yourself, maybe a license, maybe it's a passport photo, and that technology actually does a number of things, but the point is, when you're loading those files, they're very, very sensitive to little obstacles, whether it be sizing related issue, whether it be dimensional contrast, whether it be a lighting contrast, even dirt and dust that's on the surface of the actual image itself. All these things can come into play, and there are ways to kind of minimize or be able to deal with these scenarios. But as you'll see here, we've got a bit of a mix of these kind of obstacles just to show we're not putting something on a silver platter for ourselves here just for demo purposes, and refines as it goes. So it gets granular as needed in order to refine down to the specific ID format attributes. Okay, process architecture, loophole ID artifacts, first round classification, passport, driver's license, etc. Granular classification, read data, port to data store. And really it's all about being able to isolate the artifacts down to a point where you have realistic determination of the data involved. If you don't have realistic determination of the data involved, you need to be able to refine that image in some fashion so you can reliably extract that data. And so there's different ways that you can do that. And as we know, nothing's perfect. There will always be exceptions, and that's fine. We're not trying to automate the world here. What we're trying to do is lift a significant amount of pain off someone's plate, or a lot of people's plates, so that this process becomes a little bit easier, right? Potential add-ons, compliance, human escalation, tamper checks, enhancement of image, validation, and fraud detection. All very exciting, juicy stuff. So close down our one slider. Let's position some of our pieces here on the screen. If you will just bear with me a moment here. Okay, so we've got a number of, so basically this is driver's licenses and passports, okay? Now you'll see here I've downloaded a real mix. So we open this one up. We've just got a John Citizen ID. As you can see, it's got some funny kind of edges there. I'm not sure if that's a watermark or what the deal is. Next one here, we've got a California driver's license ID. You can see there's a lot going on in the background. We've got images, we've got kind of these patterns and textures, if you will, that can really be, you know, for a computer, very confusing to kind of deal with. Okay, let's open up this one. I'm assuming everyone will get a giggle. We have Mr. Bean. Apparently his name is Lee Stephen, or Stephen Lee. So Mr. Bean, thank you for your time here today. Over here we've got a driver's license from Ohio, we've got a Jane Doe, so a real mix here. So what we want to do is, our bot is just going to run against these, okay? It's going to try to sort them. So we've got two buckets. We've got our driver bucket, we've got our passport bucket, and if it gets a little unsure about things, we're going to route it to the exception bucket. Okay. Now, once we get to the driver bucket, we've got an additional step where we're going to take everything that's been routed to this driver bucket, and we're actually going to detect what state that driver's license belongs to. So if we go back here to the California, you'll see there's California. Here we see Washington. You can see it's different font, different color, different position. All these things can be tough for RPA. And this one's great because we've actually got this in italics, right? So again, different font, different color. We've got blue against white and blue background. So these things can be a problem to deal with. So what we're going to do, we're just going to run this, okay? And what I might do is also open up a second. If I go, okay, just position this. So I'm gonna run that, and you're gonna see these start to sort. Okay, it's still running here. I jump the gun. So it's actually writing the first step. It's taking attributes of these and writing them to memory. And once they're in memory, it does a bit of in-memory processing. So you can see it's taken those files, it's already routed them, and down the bottom, you'll see that we've got those licenses that are now being pushed to where they're meant to go. And then we should have a file appear very shortly, which is going to be the extracted information from our driver's licenses. Okay, so the bot's finished. Let's open up our list here. And look at that. That is absolute digital poetry. Okay, so we've got our Jane sample here from Washington State. We've got our Jane Doe from Ohio. And we've got I'm a card holder from California. And let's just, don't take my word for it, let's just jump in here, let's go to California and have a look at who this person is. And as you can see, California, I'm a card holder, date of birth, 8/31/1977, and the ID, L1234568. So look at that, even with the red font, red colored font, and the image, that tricky image pattern in the background, it's still been successful here. So hope everyone got something out of this. As you can see, this type of use case using OCR technology, digital extract, save a lot of time for a lot of people, right? And can be used in many flexible ways. And you know, I actually think this is one of the more exciting aspects of RPA, this interaction with digital file types, digital image types, to be able to lift and shift this type of information. It's a real game changer. So thank you very much for your time, everyone, and we will see you next time. Thank you very much.